Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to the Better Man podcast. Today is a member interview. I've got Kevin D from Des Moines, Iowa, and we talk about his health journey. He started off at 300 pounds in 2019. Since then, he's made a lot of different phases of improvement along the way. Started with nutrition, went into walking, started going to the gym, then started doing yoga, working on a 5K now, and he's also starting free weights. And what I really like about this story is we talk about how having a helpful environment is so important, how having the right support in place, having the right mentality just makes this a lot easier. And for Kevin, this isn't a chore. For Kevin, this is much more of a mentality of him living out his why and being able to be around for his kids and his grandkids as a grandpa, and also looking at his fitness from this lens of what else can I do? What am I capable of, rather than it being a chore, something that he has to do. So I think you'll get a lot of really great nuggets out of this interview, and I hope inspires you to be a better man. Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome back to the Better Man podcast. Today is a member story. We're going to be talking with Kevin D of Des Moines, Iowa, which abbreviation is IA, by the way, if you were wondering. So yeah, Kevin, thank you for being here and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it.
Yeah. So my first question is kind of, when was your oh shit moment? When did you realize that you weren't where you wanted to be with your health and you wanted to make a change?
Yeah, so I actually have kind of two smaller oh shit moments. My first one being in 2016, I had a cousin pass away of a massive heart attack. He was actually
Mm,
starting to get back into fitness and just left the gym and he was gone. So that was
wow.
like my first, like, oh crap. And the second was I saw a picture of myself in 2018 at my daughter's senior softball awards senior night. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, I am getting bigger. What am I doing? And so I said, I've got to start something. And around that same time, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. Life got in the way. I didn't really focus on anything yet. And then my dad died in 2019. And I'm like, okay,
Mm,
I've got to start. I want to live a healthy life. I want to go forward, be here for my kids, my grandkids,
yeah.
ultimately my great
How old
grandkids,
was your
hopefully.
dad?
My dad was 70 when he passed.
Okay. Got it.
So, and he was, he was a fit person. Like he wasn't extremely overweight. He was very similar to me where like he struggled a lot. I remember as a kid always him trying to work out and be healthy, but I don't remember the nutrition side of that where I remember him working out all the time, doing stuff in the basement, but we always ate the same food, so I don't nutrition wasn't a huge thing for us. We were farmers growing up, so we ate all the
Mm,
not so healthy, full fat, full flavor of everything growing up. So that was that was never a presence in our life about eating healthy. We just ate what was there for
mm,
us and I think essentially what we could afford growing up. Um, because
mm,
my grandpa raised farm animals and we ate a lot of beef and pork and we had chicken, so we ate chicken and we had eggs and full flavor for everything. That's what we did. So I don't. It wasn't present in our life growing up. Like it wasn't a conscious effort. I don't
mm,
think on my parents' part to think about nutrition and what's healthy, what's not. So,
mhm.
um, but yeah.
So did
So
you did you
2009.
grow up on a farm?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do that? You don't do that now?
No. Nope.
Okay.
When my grandpa passed away, my parents kind of ran the farm for a little bit. And then they leased the land out. And then now that both my parents are gone, it's my uncle still has the main farmstead, and he does some farming, but no other family members farm anymore.
Mm. Okay.
So
Just
yeah,
curious.
no, yeah, you're good.
Cool.
I mean, I loved being a farm kid, but not what I wanted to make a career out of.
Got it.
So yeah,
Yeah. Seems hard. Um,
Yes.
so how did you go about what did you do to start making changes? What were some of the things you tried?
So, first thing I did was I just committed to uh, walking, just moving, and started a little bit of, okay, what am I eating and why am I eating this?
Mm,
And I realized that a lot of that, what I was eating was just what my parents made or what my wife's family made. And we didn't really think about, okay, is this nutritious? Is it fueling our body? Is it doing what we want it to? So we kind of started with that. And once I got into it, I was really shocked at how many calories per day I was eating. Like I just ate. And I'm like, oh, I'm hungry.
mm,
I need a snack. And it's like I was eating probably like 4 or 5,000 calories a day without even thinking about it. Just just eating. So
wow.
that was our first kind of step. Like, okay, so we took it back and still I wouldn't say we were super cautious about it. I mean, our favorite thing is to go out to eat and celebrate success or celebrate, hey, we had a rough week, so we're going to go celebrate out to eat somewhere. And we still do that,
Hmm.
but I think we were more mindful of it going forward of like just knowing that you can still eat out, but like don't there's better alternatives to help not have as many calories. So that was kind of our
Yeah.
first step of just being cautious of what we ate. And at close to that same time, too, my wife was diagnosed with diabetes type 2. So
Mm,
it's kind of a journey together with, okay, she's like, she had to go on medicine. And she's like, I don't want to be on medicine forever. I want to make, I want to make healthy lifestyle changes. So that was kind of like that was her oh shit moment. And so then we're like, well, we both have
hmm.
these moments. Let's direct it. How do we do it? So exercise wasn't a huge thing at first. I think we both felt like, let's get our food under control and figure out, okay, now that we're comfortable there and I mean, we felt better immediately when we just weren't eating so much. And I mean, we were hungry, but made better choices, like had an apple or had a piece of whatever fruit we had at the time, just better choices. And I think that directed like that was the path for me to be like, okay, I think I lost like maybe 10, 15 pounds to start right away. And then it's like,
Hmm.
okay, now what? Because while nutrition is important, we need to exercise. And so we started walking and just being more active, just moving. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, it literally almost like lit a fire under me a little bit. Like, I want to do more. Like, I want to do what else can I do?
Hmm.
So I joined a
Yeah.
gym.
So tell me
Um,
about the time frame. So 10 to 15 pounds. How long did it take for you to lose that much weight?
I would say that probably came off probably within 60 days. That first 60 days of us,
Wow.
yeah.
That's a
So
lot. That's a lot for 2 months.
yeah, it came off real quick. I mean, I was almost
Yeah.
300 pounds. So
Okay.
everybody says when you're bigger, the first few pounds always comes off quicker, and absolutely it does. Just because I I really felt it was like we were just eating way too much, and you don't think about it, you
Hmm.
just eat, and then when you're like, okay, let's back it down, let's try and track our calories, let's try and stick to that 2,000 calories, just so it's not such a huge like drop off to be we don't it would like so it wouldn't fail. Like we wanted sustainable long-term goals. So we just didn't want it to like we didn't want to crash diet.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way to say it. So we yeah, started eating that 2,000 calories and it just came right off. Same for her. And it just that
Yeah.
first 10, 15 pounds just came off quick. And then I'm like, okay, that was fun because now my clothes are looser. Everything feels better.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what next?
So
So
you saw results from that, and then, but during that first, couple of months when you don't notice the results yet, you know that okay, I want to do this. I know this is going to help, but you don't see the results yet. So as you were, you know, going back, or as you were cutting back on your eating, and you notice like, oh, I really want to eat right now, or your wife was like, hey, I really want to eat right now too. Let's, go back to the snacks. what did you think to yourself, or what did you do to prevent yourself from falling into old habits?
So we a lot of the time we're like, okay, are we truly hungry or are we just bored or are we thirsty? Or, what
Yeah.
like a lot of the times it truly was, it was at night. It was always after supper, like maybe hour and a half after we ate, we're like, why are we feeling hungry? And it was always because we were winding down at the end of our day and we were at that point where like we could go to bed, but it's like really early still. And, we were watching TV, watching a show, whatever it may be. And I'm like, I think we're just bored. Like, and the natural thing is when you're watching a movie or watching TV, it's like, oh, we need a snack, we need popcorn, we need chips, we need whatever it may
Yeah.
be. And so it's like, okay, like, are we truly? So our always rule was let's get up, go drink a big glass of water, and oh, guess what? We're not really hungry after we had that glass of water. So it was just that little like think about it.
Mm.
Like, don't just mindlessly put stuff in your mouth. Like, let's think about this. What's going on? Why are we wanting a snack? And sometimes it truly was like my stomach is growling. I don't think we had enough to eat because we are cutting back. So it's like, okay, so yeah, let's have a healthy snack. Let's have an apple, or let's have a beef stick or a cheese stick. Let's have something that will be filling. That's not a ton of calories.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool. So now you're thinking, what else can I do? And what did that lead into?
yeah, so then I'm like, okay, and truly, I felt better. Like I wasn't as tired. I wasn't like at the end of the day, I wasn't
Hmm.
coming home and just like crashing out. So I'm like, I have more energy. Like, let's use that to an advantage. So I joined a gym. It was a gym that was close to my
Hmm.
work. And I just made a conscious effort to, at the time we were commuting, we lived about 30 miles outside of Des Moines. And it's like, okay, we got to have a plan because I commute to work, so it's about 30 minutes. And so every night I'd pack my gym bag and it was in my car. So it's like, well, it's there. I'm going to the gym every day after work when I can.
Yeah.
Um, my daughter had just gone off to college, so I had one less kid in activities. So I could plan my week around then what my son's activities were. And
Hmm.
I just made it an effort. And those first few weeks in the gym were horrific. Like, I was thinking about this the other night when I was walking/running on the treadmill, and it's like I remember my first gym experience trying to walk a mile, and I was so slow and so out of breath, and I'm like, this is miserable, and I couldn't even hardly walk a mile. And I mean, I was still probably
Mm.
270 ish at that point, and I felt embarrassed because I have all the people who have been working out forever next to me running, and they're running their 6-minute mile on the
Yeah.
treadmill, and here I can't even run a mile, and it probably took me like 25 minutes, and I literally felt like I was going to pass out. And I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
really time to get serious. Like it was like that was like I mean, it was almost another oh shit moment. Like I can't even walk without being out of breath, and I'm literally not even walking that fast. And so I was like, okay,
Hmm.
it's serious time. So that was mid 2019, probably May, and that's all I did at the gym. I would walk 30 minutes on the treadmill, and that was it because that's all I knew. I didn't know anything
Yeah.
else. Um, So then it just evolved to, okay, I want more. And so I
Yeah.
started doing a lot of research. Google, always is your friend. And
Yeah.
it said for weight loss, start weightlifting. So you got to start with lifting weights for fat loss. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So at the local gym, I talked to a trainer, and they just gave me a little circuit on the little weight machines of, hey, here's some simple weight things you can do to help jumpstart
Mm.
your weight loss. So then I did that for probably 3 or 4 months, and I really plateaued. Like, I probably lost 40 pounds, and that was it. Like,
Wow.
then it stopped. Like, nothing. Like, I couldn't no matter that was probably by the end of 2019. So,
Hmm.
I couldn't lose any more weight, and I got a little frustrated.
I mean, at
but
that point, you were down to what, like 230 something?
I was probably 240-ish. Yeah. 2
Okay.
235, 240. And I mean, and the other thing that I stopped doing is I stopped weighing myself because I was so focused on that number on the scale as what success was
Mm,
that it just and it was up and down all the time, and it started affecting my mental health. Like, I was so focused on that number
yeah.
that it I got discouraged, I got mad at myself, like, and so I'm like, I gotta
Yeah.
stop doing that because if I keep just focusing on that number, that's not I can't use that as a measurement for success because
Yeah.
I could walk 2 miles now on the treadmill before I got really tired. So it's like, okay, this is the success I need to measure. Like, what can I
Mhm.
do? I could my the weight machine weight was going up, so I was building muscle. I was doing all the right things, but my weight loss plateaued. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do?
Yeah.
So, um,
I mean,
we looked at
did
go
you
ahead.
did you check your body composition at the time? Did you, or did
Mm-mm.
you no? Did you know that? Did you realize that, "Oh, maybe my weight's not going up because I'm got going down because I'm building muscle," and, a lot of
Yes,
people at that
actually,
point, they're like, "Oh, well, the scale's not changing, so I'm not making any progress."
right. And it was a conversation with my wife one time. I was like, I'd gone to the gym that whole week and, I said, I don't think I can lose any more weight. I don't know what's wrong. So I'm like, maybe it's, something medically, like, do I need to go to the doctor? Like, is there something going on that I don't know about? And she's like, honey, you're lifting weights. You're building muscle. I can tell in your arms that your arms are getting bigger. Like, your weight is going up because you get more muscle. And so, like, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, I didn't even think
Mhm.
about it. So, and that was kind of the point where I'm like, okay, no more scale because I'm going to judge how I feel, what I can do, and how my clothes fit. And she's like, "Look at your jeans. You need smaller jeans. They're baggy. Let's go. That's a goal. That go down however many jean sizes. You're being better." So it was just kind of that thought process changing. Like, the number on the scale doesn't always measure success. So
Mhm.
that's kind of been my philosophy going forward to not let that number dictate what my fitness is. And so that's where
Yeah.
and I've always stretched and done stuff, but
Mhm.
I needed something different. I could, like, my legs, I always have horrible cramps in my calves. No matter how much stretching or whatever I do, I've just always had horrible calves. So I was researching, like, stretching, and then of course, Google came up and was like yoga. And I'm like, oh, I've never thought about yoga. So there was a, I went on YouTube then and just searched yoga and found a couple people that I started watching their videos. And it was comical a little bit because I'm like, okay, I'm not into the spirituality of it. And I wasn't like, that's not what I wanted out of it. I wanted it fitness focused. So then I'm like, okay, so then I started doing more yoga searches, and it's like, okay, any classroom is going to be all females. And I'm like, that's not where I want to go because I'm not confident enough to walk into a yoga studio to do any sort of stuff. So I actually Googled yoga for men, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect. And
Mhm.
then, yeah, I mean, my yoga just has taken, I feel like once I started doing yoga constantly, like, it's allowed me to do more at the gym and just increased my fitness awareness and
Mhm.
just it, like, took me to that next level once I started doing that yoga. And then honestly,
Yeah.
I was all in on it. Like, it my legs stopped cramping so much when I walked. Like, I used to wake up with Charlie horses in the middle of the night. Those have stopped. Like, it just I mean, I think it's just overall my body is like, and I can tell it too. If I don't work out, my body is like, what are you doing? I need something. So even just like a
Yeah.
simple walk
Craving
anymore,
exercise.
like, I just need to move. And so it's just been a complete transition of from going to nothing to now doing a lot. I'm training for a 5K right now. Um,
Yeah.
it's in 2 weeks, and I know I just got diagnosed yesterday that I have arthritis in one of my knees, and there's the doc's
Mhm.
like, we can do a bunch of testing, but he's like, I can tell that you have less cartilage in that knee and it's getting arthritic and you need to stop running. And he's like, you need to strengthen all your stuff, your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes to help your knees. And it's like, yeah, I've heard that
Yeah.
before. I've just never done it. So after this 5K on the 18th, I'm definitely, changing again of what fitness means and what goals I have. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
redirecting some things, and yeah, but it's amazing what just
Mhm.
getting into the gym and being around people, like you see people at the gym and you're like, holy crap, he can lift a lot of weight. Not that I want to do that, but it gives you motivation to be like, if he can do it, I can do it. And
Yeah.
it just is a good, when you're around like-minded people, then that's what you tend to want to be like. So yeah.
Yeah. Something that a lot of people talk about, especially when we have a community of people who some of them have been exercising and lifting weights for a really long time. And now they're doing yoga and, they're doing manful yoga because they've got to this point where, oh crap, all this lack of mobility work and core strength is really catching up to me and I can't do what I used to do anymore. But then on the other end, we've got people who have been doing mostly yoga as their more main form of exercise. And now, as they're getting older, they're getting into their 50s, their 60s, they don't have the same strength that they did when they were younger. And so I'm trying to encourage these people to, yeah, like, body weight exercise and yoga. I mean, yoga in particular is only going to get you to a certain level in terms of your strength. And
Mhm.
it's really good for building a foundation of strength and making you more efficient and better able to build strength and build muscle. But ultimately, you have to do strength training on top of that in order to really notice results. And one of the things that we hear about from people when I say, like, well, why don't you try the gym? Is like, I don't want to go to a gym. I don't want to have to lift weights. I don't want other people to judge me, right? So, I'm just kind of curious about your experience. Did you feel that, you mentioned that the first few weeks was really tough. Did
Mhm.
you feel like people were looking at you thinking like, oh, this guy can't even walk a mile? Or like,
Oh yeah.
what was your gym intimidation, experience?
Yeah, I felt 100% judged, because and I know it's, now it's different, but back then my mindset was, I was walking on a treadmill and I couldn't walk a mile, and I was sweating and people were looking at me, and I was like, this is so freaking embarrassing. And it,
Hmm.
it, it was hard. Like, I will say there were a couple days where like my mentality was, I can't go to the gym today because I just can't handle people looking at me barely being able to walk a mile. And there were days I didn't. I even went, and I remember one time my wife and I were trying to go together, and the parking, it's a smaller gym, so the parking lot was full, and we just drove through. There was no parking spots, and we literally just left and went home. Like, nope, it's busy. We don't, it's going to be so embarrassing because we're going to be struggling to walk, and we're like, nope, we're not doing it. And I will say slowly over time that decreased, because you look around and you're like, okay, that person over there is just as big as me and they're struggling just like me, but they're here. And I can do it, Like, this is why the people are here. They're here to get healthy. So it was totally a mind change of, there's people in here that, yeah, they've been coming for years and years. They're big bodybuilders and they, what, 5% body fat. And that's not what I want to be. But there's also people just like me that just want to lose weight, just want to try and be as fit as they can be. And it was kind of eye-opening that it was definitely a mentality change of, yeah, don't worry
Yeah.
about what other people think when you're at the gym. You're there to do your workout and what you need to do, and that's different from the person next to you. You know, they may be somebody who, has been bigger and they're starting their journey out today and this is their first mile, and don't judge them because they're here. They showed up. And
Yeah.
that's, and that was, and I think true that just that mindset of everybody's battle is different. And that's part of why I'm totally going to circle this into the Manflow community. That's why it's so great to be part of the Manflow community, because there are people that are just like you, that are runners, or that are who have been overweight and who are trying, and they're showing up, and
Hmm.
there's a support there. And yeah, so gym intimidation is real, though. It still is for me too, because I'm starting more. I'm doing the coaching challenge, and part of that, our group is more weightlifting, and stepping into the free weight
Hmm.
area away from the machine weights is still very intimidating to me, because those guys are
Yeah.
intense. And so I did it for the first time 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and
Good job.
it 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 was weird because I got back there and nobody even looked at me, and nobody gave a shit what I was doing. And it's like, why does this?
Everyone's too busy looking at the mirror. Those mirrors are where
That's,
you get to see the
yes,
pump.
yeah, and everybody's too worried about counting their. Josh told me, he's like, yeah, sometimes people are so focused on, oh shit, what set am I on? What number is this? Like they're not thinking about
Oh
what
yeah.
you're doing. So but it's just, my body shape is different from theirs. They're obviously a lot more toned and muscle oriented, and I mean that's kind of what I want, but not really. And just to
Mm.
get over that and be back there, it's like, yeah, I am one of them. I may not ever be as 5% body fat like you, but you know what? I can lift heavy just like you too. It doesn't matter. And the gym's been, I've never
Yeah.
had any instance where anybody's ever said or done anything to make me feel that way. It's just all in my head. So, but
It's all in your
it,
head.
it
Yeah.
yeah, it just takes that first
Yeah.
time doing something, and then you're like, yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. It's not as bad as what my mind told me it was
Hmm.
going to be. So, yeah, I'm excited to
Yeah.
get back there and do the workouts that Coach Josh has given us in our group, and yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it sounds like the you worked on your gym intimidation with I kind of identified three things. So the first is recognizing that as you got to be more aware of your environment and the different people there, you recognize everyone's there and they all have different battles, but they're all there to somehow improve themselves. The second
Hmm.
being the normalization of your own situation by seeing it in others. I think that's a really important tool that we take advantage of a lot in the Manful Yoga community is saying like, "Hey, I've got this problem," and like 10 other guys are like, "Oh, me too," and five other guys say like, "Oh yeah, that was me last year," and then
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like, "Oh, that's going to be me in 10 years," or like whatever the problem is, but like
Right.
everyone's got some sort of you know the most people aren't special, and I don't say that to say like you're not special, just do your thing. I say it because you're not special, meaning like you're not going through anything that nobody has. You're not going through something that other people haven't gone through already. Like you're just not that special. It's like other people have gone through the
Right.
same challenges. The solutions exist, you know
Hmm.
um and then
Yeah.
the third thing that I heard is this fear of just you haven't done it before, so you're scared of doing it because you don't know what it is, and then
Yeah.
just doing it, you realize like, oh, okay, that was it. All right, that's not so bad.
Right.
So
Like the first time I ran my 5K, I thought I was going to puke, because it's like, holy crap, you have all these runners out here with that look like, they run the 6 minute miles, and you're like, well, that's not me, but you know what? I'm still going to run. It's slow pace, but I'm going to finish
mm,
this, and I set goals, and I met those goals. So it's always just
yeah,
taking that first step. And I know it's so hard, but is the second you do it and you're over it, it's like this huge weight, and it's like, okay, now what can I do? What can I do more? Like,
mm,
what else am I
yeah,
capable of? And that was totally
yeah,
me, like, getting out of my comfort zone to go to a retreat and meet other people, and just like, hey, this isn't, my head's making this 10 times worse than it always is. And yeah, it's been amazing of going down and calling myself like a somebody who's into fitness, because that was never the case growing up.
Mm.
Like I wasn't an athlete, and I was more the musical theater kid, and just never considered myself that. And now it's like people still make fun of me when I say I do yoga, and I'm like, you can make fun of me all you want. It's super awesome, and the second you try it, you're going to realize it. But yeah, make fun away. I don't care. You can laugh, but it works for me, and I love it. So that's
That's a
yeah,
that's such a common that's such a common thing that we hear about in our community as well, is the identity shift of like, I never into workouts. I was into theater as a kid, you know.
yeah.
And I was into theater too. I did theater for a year, and I was in all of the music groups. I played bass guitar, so I was in jazz ensemble. I was in jazz combo. I did a cappella groups. I was in like the
Yeah.
men's a cappella group as well. I was in show choir. I did a High School Musical when I was a senior.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. I think back to that, just like sheer embarrassment of the choreographed dance that we had, and just like laughing at myself as I went through this. Um, but yeah, I think that and I bring all this up because I'm curious about, for you, when did you notice that that kind of identity shift happened and you started thinking about, oh, I am someone who is into fitness?
I will say I don't. That's a great question, and I'll say probably my after I did the Chicago retreat, like that kind of the light switched on, and I'm like, okay, I thoroughly enjoyed it, met some great people, and I'm like, this was awesome, and I want to I want to be into this. Like, I want to continue down the path of what can I do? What can I explore to expand my fitness more? And it shifted from, I mean, there's still things about my body that I don't like. I mean, I have the typical dad bod and I want to get rid of that. But it's, you know what? There are people who are probably more in shape than I am, but they can't touch their toes, or they can't, they couldn't hardly bend. When they tie their shoe, they have to sit down because they have no flexibility in their hamstrings, and I know it's kind of crazy, but just like when I was putting my socks on this morning, I realized that I almost do a standing figure four when I put my socks on now, just because that's easiest. Like I balance and put it on, and I'm like, it's just the measurement of what fitness is different for everybody. And
Hmm.
I feel like that is a shift for me. Like I stopped comparing, and I realized that I can do yoga. I can run 3 miles, might not be fast, but I can still do it. And just focused on my individual, what I want for myself. And that's a huge shift of just, yeah. And I think about
Hmm.
like the challenges that we do. Like I love those because it gives me a plan. It makes me want to get up early and do my yoga and still get in my weightlifting.
Hmm.
Like I make a schedule now of my weekly workouts based upon what family activities we have going on, other work related stuff. Like, okay, this week I can go to the gym on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And so then I make a plan based upon how many days I can get to the gym. And that's just the mindset shift of
Hmm.
fitness is important and I'm going to prioritize it, but still make other things too happen in my life. So it's just that's probably, it was probably about a year ago, last August, I guess, however many months ago that was. That was when I really started focusing on scheduling my gym time, scheduling my yoga, and just being
Yeah.
focused on being a healthier person.
Yeah. That's awesome. As I'm listening, I'm noticing like all these different phases that you've gone through, and each phase has had its, oh wow, this is working, and then it's like, oh, it's not leading to much anymore. You had like this initial, like, you lost 15 pounds just because you're like, wait, am I eating or am I bored? And then you started walking at the gym, and you're like, okay, this is cool. And then you started lifting weights and you lost 40 pounds, which is crazy. I mean, it makes sense, but also like that's a lot. And then
Yeah.
then you started doing yoga, and then you started running, and now you're starting free weights. And you've said it you said it, and then I've also heard it a lot, I think verbatim in the other interviews that I've done here, but it's what else am I capable of? Like, what else
Mhm.
can I do? And so you're not looking at this like a chore. You're looking at this from this like very curious, excited place of, oh, could I try doing this now? Like, this would be fun. Maybe I could. Um, and Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if is there anything that you think also aided in getting you to that mentality of what else am I capable of versus, oh crap, I have to work out today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of it is after the first of the year, I did the finding my why, um, and that
Yeah.
so I did it two different places. When we did those calls after the first of the year, I that was one of the comments, the Seven Why book, and I didn't read that book, but I do read a lot, and I just kind of turned it on. I want it to be part of my life because I think longevity is important. And we were at, I think you said it when I was in Austin in February. Somebody said it, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was you. They said, make sure your ladder is leaning against the right wall. And I
Oh,
wrote
I
that
didn't say that,
down.
but that's a great quote.
So I heard it, and see this is my problem too. So I read a lot, and I read a lot of books, and sometimes I forget who says what or where I've read it, and so because I think I remember the
Love
quotes,
that.
but then not necessarily who says it. But make sure your ladder's leaning
Yeah.
against the right wall. And I read that, and maybe I did read it or heard it, and like I had to stop and like holy crap, and like it made me real. Okay, what is the what is the right wall? And if I'm going to climb a ladder, I want to make sure that I'm going the right direction, doing the right thing. So it was my kind of a little bit of why I'm doing this, and it was because I want to be the grandpa that is on the floor playing with the kids. I want to be helping them ride bikes. I want to do all
Sorry.
that.
I accidentally made some emojis pop up on video and some balloons to celebrate
I was gonna say,
grandpa.
well, I hey, we can celebrate being a grandpa. No, but yeah, so and even like a great grandpa, I want to be the great grandpa that's coming to their kids' events. Like, I that's just what I
Mhm.
because grandparents were important to my life,
Mm.
and my kids don't have any grandparents left on either
Mhm.
side. Um, I have one. I have my stepmom. She's still around. She's still a grandma, which is great. But my parents are gone, and their mom's parents are gone. So it's like I remember being. I mean, my grandma. I was in my late 30s when my grandma passed away. Like she was a very important part of my life, and I want that for my kids. I want to be a grandpa, and so like that was truly my. That's what kind of came out in Austin of I want longevity because I
Mhm.
want to be here for my kids and my grandkids. And it just, yeah. So then it circled back to that
Yeah.
latter comment. And it's like, yeah. So it was a shift of I'm doing this for me, solely me, because this is what I want. But in turn, because I'm doing that, it's going to help others around me. And, maybe I'll provide some motivation
Yeah.
to someone in the group or whatever. And that's just it's a huge thing for me that doing it is not a chore anymore. It's just part of my life. And that's exactly my
Yeah.
mindset going forward. And it will always be that way. And my wife's very supportive of that. There'll be times where I'll be sitting and she's like, well, you said you were going to the gym tonight. Your truck's still sitting out. It's not in the garage. Are you going or what are you doing? And then it's like, yeah, I need to go. I need to stop just doom scrolling on Facebook and all the other social apps and just get my butt to the gym because I said that. So like, just
Yeah.
the little things, like and it's not mean, she's just like, "Aren't you going?" And I always ask and she's not one to go to the gym, and that's fine. She's still lost a lot of weight and his diabetes is under control, so she's had a lot of success too, and
Mhm.
but it's just great to have support like that too, and it's just yeah, it's just an overall
Yeah.
great thing that's happening.
Yeah, you've
So
got a great
yeah,
accountability partner. That's awesome.
yeah,
I mean, you have so many of the you have so many of the right things in place. You've got your partner is on board with you. She's also had the oh shit moment. You've got you have your view of self care as selfish to your needs, but also important to your family needs. So you're able to look at your workout as like, hey, I'm helping me, and I'm also helping you,
hmm
as opposed to a lot of guys feel guilty about taking time away. You also have you also have a few things working in your favor in the sense that your first daughter is off to college now, so you have less responsibilities at home, which means you have more time to be able to do this. Um, you're looking, it's not a chore. It's a what else can I do? It's a
hmm
so you've got like a lot of really good things that are working for you. So I'm excited for you in the sense that you have that going for you. And I don't need to tell you that you should be grateful for that, because you are. I can hear it in your voice. I
yeah,
can see it in your face right now. So um yeah, I guess I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that Manful Yoga has got to be part of this, and the community has been able to be you know, part of your support. So that's awesome.
yeah. I mean, two of my probably really great friends right now are I've met through Manflow Yoga. I mean, and it's crazy because I never had a lot of close male friendships before, but the two guys that
Yeah.
we text daily, and it's just been a great community to help learn and grow what fitness
hmm
means, and it's been awesome. So I'm very thankful for everything that you've done and the other coaches have done. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's do our rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I've got four for you. First
Okay.
one is, what is one habit, belief, or mindset that has helped you with your overall health and wellness?
Um, I think the mindset of everybody's fitness journey is different, and you have to discover what you want out of your fitness journey and don't compare it to others. So once I stopped comparing what I saw on social media and what I saw people do at the gym and just made it for me, that's been a huge change of and it's made me
Mm,
want to go and want to continue because while I don't have the perfect body, I still feel like I'm a very fit person. And just that whole mindset of find it for yourself.
yeah, that's great. What is one thing that you do for your health that is overlooked or undervalued by others?
Uh, I do practice a lot of self care. I get a massage once
Okay.
a month, and there are days where I will. I mean, Iowa sucks because we have a lot of gray and drab days, but I will take time and be outside. Go, especially in the summer, I'm outside as much as possible. I'm on a trail. Sometimes I'll do a no music trail walk. Other time I'll have some nice, just gentle music and just remind myself that, how's the best way to say it? That that fitness is important, but it's not necessarily all you, and make sure that
Yeah.
you're you're doing things that are all ultimately going to help you out. So it's
hmm
clear the mind, just be present more. Um, yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah.
long answer, but it's
No.
hard to explain. But I definitely take the time to make sure that I'm not overwhelmed with being so focused on fitness, and I'm taking care of my mental health as well, so that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm just there for everybody. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. What's the most stressful part of your day-to-day life?
My job. I do like my job, but it's a high stress environment. Certain days, especially towards the end of the month, it just gets crazy. And I I did the breath series, and I catch myself more often than not taking a step away from my desk when I go fill my water bottle or whatever, and just taking a deep breath and remembering that
Yeah.
it's work. It'll be there, and I will do my best to get the best results possible. But some days things are out of your hand and you just got to let it go. Take a deep breath and just dig in.
Yeah. What's your best piece of advice for men who want to be healthier?
Small, actionable changes make the biggest difference. Um, Small, like if you're wanting to lose weight, start small. Start eating a little bit healthier week by week. Start getting to the gym week by week. Don't don't make it so focused on the scale. Don't make it so focused on results. How do you feel? Do you feel you're having success? Then you are.
Mhm.
Um, but just to be long and sustainable about all your fitness and your nutrition, it's small actionable steps. So just take those steps day by day. And it's
Yeah.
crazy what happens when you make those small choices that just then they keep going, and you've all of a sudden now you've got results and you feel amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
I know
All
it
right.
seems so simple, but that's what it is.
No, it is. I mean, that's a thing. It really is. Like that's what I think it is. It's simple. I think we want to look for the answer. The answer is easy. Doing it's harder. We want to say like, oh, that sounds hard. Is there another answer? Is there another answer? Is there another? No, it's just it's really, it's no, it's a simple answer. It's just, you just have to do it. Um,
Right,
um, but also like you have to do it in a way where it feels manageable. It shouldn't be like this. I mean, okay, if you want me to bang my head into a wall over and over again, I'll do it, but I won't like it, right? It's more of this, okay, well, how do you figure out how to do it in a way that it doesn't feel like a chore, where it feels like, oh, no, this is easy enough. Like I can manage this. And then you build upon, you're never taking a huge step at once. You're always taking little steps along the
right,
way to get to, you know, you're not you don't climb a rope to get to the second level. You take a flight of stairs, right? You like little steps one at a time,
right.
and those add up, like you said.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
well, Kevin, I want to say thank you again for coming on and sharing your story. I've said it enough,
Absolutely.
but I appreciate you being part of the Manful Yoga community and as much as you do and contribute there. Um, and yeah, I thank you, and I hope to see you again soon in person. So
Yeah, sounds great.
cool. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. I hope this inspires you to be a better man. Thanks, guys, for listening to this interview. If you want to learn more about joining our community and you're not already part of it, go to manfulyoga.com/join. Sign up for a free 7-day trial. If you're already part of the Manful Yoga community, guys, I want to say thank you for being here. You guys make this what it is, truly. And again, I've said this before, but when I started creating videos, I had no idea that the community would be such an integral part of what Manful Yoga is. And I just want to say I'm grateful for you guys for being here. If you're not quite ready to become a member yet, you can learn more about how Manful Yoga and how yoga can help you with your life, with your overall fitness, with getting rid of pain, with practical 15-minute lessons as part of our Beginners Yoga for Men Challenge. You can sign up for that at manflowyoga.com/7, as in the number 7, DC. Um, Again, thank you for being here. If you're enjoying this podcast, leave a review wherever podcasts are listened to. You can also listen to or watch video versions of the podcast in the members area or on YouTube on the Better Man Podcast YouTube channel. So thank you guys for listening. Again, I hope this inspires you to be a better man. I'll see you on the next episode.